Alright, got a 1996 King of the Hill game on the table. Inside pitch. San Diego leads the Yankees 3-1. Yankees came in as the King of the Hill. Ken Caminiti has hit 2 home runs, accounting for all 3 Padre runs. Mariano Rivera is going to come in. This is 96, so he was actually setting up John Wetland back then. He's going to come in and try and hold the game for the Yankees to give them a chance to come back. Jody Reed, the number 9 hitter, leads it off. He's 1 for 2. And let's see what happens here on the top of the 7th. Yanks down by 2. Got a 5-3 on Mariano, and that's a K chance against a righty. Reed is a 5. Ballpark takes 1 away as a 4. And the D20 is a 5. So that the ballpark takes that strikeout away from Mariano Rivera. Reed was a 5 against righties, but a -1 makes him a 4. So the 5 is no good. And now we got a 5-4 on Reed. And a 5-4 on Reed is a single to past shortstop. 5-4 is a single pass short. So Reed is on first. Gets a hit off Mariano. And Reed is a 1 attempt. Mariano is a -2 though, so Reed cannot steal. And that'll bring up Ricky. We'll roll the strategy anyway. And there's no pickoff. And I'm not hitting and running with Ricky, so we're going to just go ahead and swing away. That might have hit his hit and run, but I didn't calculate it. Let's see, what's his... He's an 8 strikeout against righties. No, actually it didn't hit his hit and run. It was a 4, and it would have been a 1, 2, or 3. So Ricky's going to swing. Reed on first and nobody out. 2-5 is a range play. So we got a range play. And that's a 1-5. So we got a range play, star 2. So that's a range play second base, which is not great for the Yankees because Mariano Duncan is at second, and I think he's only a 2. Let me check Duncan. Duncan is a... Oh, he's a 3 at second base. I'll take that back. So 1, 2, or 3, and Duncan will make this range play. And it's a 4, of course, so he doesn't make it. Range play, so that's G4 becomes an S4. And on an S4, we've got S4... First to third is a 3+. Reed is a 2. So he does not make third. Reed is going to stop at second. First and second, nobody out on the failed range play. That's going to bring up Gwynn. Reed doesn't really have a shot to steal. He doesn't have any shot to steal third. I'll roll the strategy, but there's really not much going on here. And it's a 9, so it's nothing. No pick off or anything. So first and second, nobody out for Gwynn. Rivera's gotten himself into a little trouble. Duncan couldn't bail him out with a nice play on that range play. And now we got a 1-2. That's a walk plus. Gwynn against a righty's a 7. That's a 17. And he walks him. The bases are loaded against Mariano Rivera with nobody out. Mariano can face 7. He's faced 3 without getting any of them out. So Ken Caminiti, the guy who has 2 homers so far in the game, he hit 40 that year, so no shocker. He has 2 homers and 3 RBIs, and he's going to hit with the bases loaded. There's really no strategy here. I'm just going to roll this. I don't see a strategy roll as necessary. Bases loaded, nobody out. 3-1 already. I guess they have to kind of come in. They can't give up any more runs. The infield's going to come in, try and cut the runoff at the plate. Infield in, bases loaded, nobody out. 6-3 on Mariano is a K chance against a righty. Caminiti is an 11. Minus the 1 is 10, and that's a 17. That's a big miss right there. That would have been a huge strikeout. But he misses it. Pretty good for Caminiti. He hit 40 homers and was only an 11 against righties to strike out. It's a 6 against lefties. Now we get a 4-2, and that's a G6. So here we go. We got a G6. Let's see if we can figure this out using the infield in chart. Let me get the infield in play chart. All right, bases loaded, so that's the bottom row. The D20 was a 3. All right, so we got the bases loaded. We have to look at the runner on third is Reed. Reed was a 2, right? Jody Reed was a 2 BR. So third BR 2 is a -1 adjustment to the roll, which makes it a 2. The bases loaded. And that was to shortstop. Shortstop 2, bases loaded. Runner on third out, batter fielder's choice. So they get Reed at the plate, 6-2. And Caminiti is on, and Gwynn goes to second. And Henderson goes to third. So there we go, bases full. Grounded to short. Adjusted D-roll was 2. It was a 3 -1 because he's a 2 base runner. So -1 a roll adjustment to a 2. Wouldn't have mattered. Even a 3 would have been out. It would have been the same play. 1-9 is out and fielder's choice. All right, so the bases remain loaded with 1 out. Yankees get the run at home. And now Finley is up. And they're going to keep the infield in. They can't give up a run. They're going to keep it in. They're going to try and cut the run off at the plate again. Not rolling strategy. I don't see strategy here. Bases loaded, 1 out. And we get a 4-3. 4-3 is a K+. Finley against righties is a 7. That's 17 -1 for the ballpark. And that's a huge strikeout for Rivera. 2 out. Bases loaded, 2 out. Mariano trying to get out of a bases loaded, nobody out jam. And it's John Flaherty. Let me just take a quick look. Who was there? Do they have a lefty catcher that can hit? That is the question. Let's see what their bench looks like. Hold on 1 second. Who was there? First of all, who was their backup catcher? Let me go that way first. I can't find a backup catcher. They gotta have a backup catcher. Am I using him as the DH? I don't think so. Am I? Livingston. Can't find their backup catcher in here. Oh, here we go. It was Brian Johnson. He was also a righty, though. So, do they have any lefties that I would want to have to hit here instead of Flaherty? Well, Scott Livingstone hit 297. Jason Thompson only hit 224. Chris Gwynn hit 178. Lopez was a switch hitter, but he only hit 180. And the rest are pitchers. So the question is, do I want Flaherty? Yeah, he hit 13 homers and batted 284. And he has a 13 for home runs versus Rays. I'm going to let Flaherty hit. I don't see any better option. So Flaherty's going to hit. Bases loaded, 2 out. Mariano trying to get out of this jam. They threw one guy out at the plate, and then he struck out Finley. And again, no strategy. This is just Mariano versus Flaherty. 3-5. 3-5 is an error on a ground ball check. Ooh, this is messy. Error on a ground ball check. So let's see what we get if we get a grounder on Flaherty's card. And it's a 6-2. And a 6-2 is a base hit to center. 6-2 is a single to center. Is there any error on a ground ball? Error on a ground ball, single to center is a number 5. Hit boots ball. Roll 1d6 for Xavier. So let me just see if it would have been an error. Center field for the Yankees is Bernie. Bernie is a... What is Bernie's error rate in center? It's only a 3 and the dice is 6. So it wouldn't have been an error anyway. But it is a single to center. And that's going to score Henderson automatically. And now we got to roll on the single second to home chart. I'm using the alternate base running charts. So let's roll single second to home. And we get a 6-3. 6-3. What is a 6-3 is hold if arm is, looks like less than 0. What is Williams' arm? Williams' arm is a +2. So that is not a hold. Hold was hold less than 0. So that is going to score Gwynn as well. And Caminiti will stop at second because there was nothing about the trail runner. So I'll stop Caminiti at second. But that's a huge, huge hit. And it's now 5-1 Padres. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is his 7th. This is his last batter he can face before he's tired. He's trying to get out of the inning. Rivera has blown up here in the 7th. Wally Joyner will bat. It's now 5-1, so I'm not even going to bother with strategy. It'll be turned off anyway. 1-6 on Rivera is a K chance. Joyner against righties is an 8-1, and that's a 3, so he gets Joyner. Third time Joyner is struck out. Second strikeout for Mo in the inning, but he gives up 2, and the Yankees are down 5-1 here. So Mariano Rivera fails to hold the game, and he's also now tired. Bottom of the 7th, Dario Veras is coming into the game for the Padres. He's relieving Ashby, who pitched 6 innings. But is now tired. He reached his final batter last inning. Joe Girardi leads it off. Girardi's going to bat. He hit 294. Down 5-1, facing Veras. And that's a 1-1. That's a blank because he's not tired. So blank for Veras because he's not tired. Roll on Girardi with a 3-3. And that's a ground to second, 1 out. Padres looking good to be the new king of the hill here in this 96 King of the Hill tournament. Boggs will bat, top of the order. Boggs hit 311. 0 for 3 in this game, though. 5-6. 5-6 is a range play. So let's see where we're going to be looking for the range play. And we got a 1-2. 1-2 on Boggs is actually a power result to center against a righty. And it's a 9. And that's too much. There's no 9 against righties. So that would be, what did I say, to center? So that would just be a fly to center. But now it's a range check. Who is the center fielder? That would be Finley. Finley is a 3 in center field. So 1, 2, or 3, and he'll keep it as a fly to center. And it's a 3. So fly to center, 2 out. So Boggs misses the power numbers, and then he doesn't get the range play to go his way. 2 out, nobody on for Jeter, who has homered in the game for the only Yankee run. 1 for 3 at 314 in 96 with 10 homers. 2 out, nobody on. We get a 4-4 on Veras. Is a K chance against a righty. That's a 10-1, and 17 is too big. So Jeter will get to use his card. And we got a 2-1 on Jeter, which is a star 4. And a star 4 is a fly to center. So through 7, looks like the Padres are heading towards King of the Hill as they get to Mariano Rivera and lead the Yankees 5-1.